Hi guys, JT here, and today I'll be bringing you some information on the Humble Bundle Day of the Devs bundle of October 2022. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? I'm going to split this video up to two as there's a lot to cover with a massive bundle like this. If you want to know more about game deals, then feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps the channel out. So let's get into this. And number one, we have Gang Beasts, a multiplayer beat-em-up party game. This game will see players play as spongy plasticine people, fighting each other in free-for-all combat and trying to throw each other off the map. If you can't tell by now, this game does not take itself too seriously at all. It is fun and absolutely ridiculous in a goofy fun way. You can customize your plasticine men, kitting it with various colors and outfits that just looks ridiculous and funny. You can either play online or offline with others online or with friends. The online experience is definitely where the fun factor lays as you and other strangers try to throw each other off the roof. You can grab opponents, lift them over your head, punch, headbutt, or even perform drop kicks. The levels are also bright, colorful, varied, and very random. You can fight on top of blimps, along two moving lift carts, on swinging stages in construction sites, moving trucks, boats, etc. etc. This game is a quick fix game, so don't expect to get invested into playing for hours on end. It's easy to just jump in for 30 minutes, have a good laugh, and go on with your life. It is suitable for kids and adults and is perfect for some family time, throwing each other off of buildings while laughing your heads off like good old times. A complaint about this game is that if you're playing online, you actually have to wait for the match to finish before moving on to the next game, and sometimes the tussle between two people that is not you could seem forever. If you like a fun little party game or stress relief game, throwing people off roofs, then definitely give Gang Beasts a try. And number two, we have Psychonauts in a Rhombus or Ruin, a VR puzzle game based around the Psychonauts series. The events of this game takes place immediately after Raz, aka you, graduate from Psychic Summer Camp and becomes an official Psychonaut. You go about trying to save a new girlfriend's dad, and one thing led to another, you crash land and you have to work together with other Psychonauts to free themselves from the traps of Rhombus and an evil force looking to harm you. Even though it will help if you've played the original Psychonauts game, you don't really need to, as the game does a good job in giving you a rundown on how the world works. The main thing that you will do in this game is solving puzzles with your special abilities. You start up with limited psychic abilities, which allows you to switch host bodies, moving you from one brain to another, and thus moving you from one puzzle to another. Before long, you'll learn new abilities like the ability to move objects with your mind and set things on fire, once again using them to solve puzzles. It's hard to get lost in this game as it does a great job in pushing you to the right direction. Puzzles will give your brain a bit of an exercise, although they aren't too challenging and all of them make logical sense. You won't have any use for motion controllers though, as you can't walk around in this game. The story is decent, but there aren't any shocking twists or "oh my god, I didn't see that coming" moments. It feels like you're playing a nice Pixar film as the game can be finished in about 2 hours. If you have a VR headset and want to solve some puzzles, then give this game a try. And number 3, we have Psychonauts, a classic 3D platformer that lets you explore the strangest worlds created by the mind. You play as Raz, and you've just escaped the circus to join a summer camp for psychic youths. By joining this camp, you have the opportunity to be a Psychonaut, a psychic secret agent. However, people's brains are stolen and the counselors disappear, and it is up to you to figure out what has happened by traveling through different minds. This game features some great platforming in an extremely strange world. Each level is uniquely strange, like being on a giant chessboard facing off against a Napoleon figure, or being a kaiju destroying a city in another person's mind. The level designs are also commendable with some insane visuals. In a game so crazy, you would think that the narrative will fall on itself, but it doesn't. The characters are interesting to talk to and, most importantly, funny. As you find cards and collect figments of imagination, you will climb the ranks of the Psychonauts and earn merit badges, allowing you to learn new and powerful attacks like pyrokinesis. There's never a dull moment in this game, accompanied with soundtracks that project the unease of the mind very well. The game isn't difficult, and exploring the world will unlock hidden items and new areas. So if you're into a fun platforming experience with some really fun characters to interact with, Psychonauts will not disappoint. And number 4, we have Scapegoat 2, a puzzle platformer game where you use machinery, the environment, and a friendly mouse to progress through a dungeon. Basically, you're a goat in the stronghold of Tarragos. Nobody has ever escaped the stronghold, but will you be the first to do so? Along the way, you will rescue your sheep friends who are also trapped in the stronghold. The stronghold is filled with rooms all designed to murder you, and murder it will, as you will die a lot. You start out with just the double jump and dash, which you can use to break boxes and objects. The controls are simple, but the puzzles are challenging. Each level will present you with new ways to play the game. They are short and will see you going through a process of trial and error, trying to figure out how to go to the next room. Most rooms will have you doing some platforming and collecting keys. You can also use a mouse that you have befriended early on in the game to help you with your escape. The mouse can squeeze through small gaps to flip switches or swap places with you through the use of magic. The mouse could also create clones and create blocks to drop down on enemies or crush crates. The last few puzzles can be very challenging as the difficulty curve suddenly spikes. This is not a long game, but there are some optional side rooms to do if you want to extend your game time. This game also features the level editor, so you can make your own room of death traps. Escape Goat 2 is a nice little puzzle game for you to crack your brain on, if you're into puzzle games and goats. And number 5, we have Everything. An interactive experience where every object in the universe is a playable character, from animals to plants to galaxies and beyond. It is a philosophy-heavy sandbox game, and it is all about being. You can become anything in the universe, from a small cockroach to a giant oak tree. Heck, you can even be inorganic things like a matchstick or even a warehouse building or a car. Occasionally you get somebody sharing his philosophy about life and being part of a greater universe and how everything is connected. It's very relaxing and there aren't any specific goals to strive for. There is plenty of things to see and experience as different beings. A goal that you can have for yourself in this game is to collect things by seeking them out and becoming them, adding them into your log of things that you have become. It's quite a strange experience that feels somewhat meditative and very philosophical. So if you want to play through an experience about life, the universe, and philosophical ideas about beings, then give Everything a try. And number 6, we have Massive Chalice. A tactical strategy game where you take control of an immortal ruler of the nation, taking command of heroes and forging heroic marriages to strengthen your bloodlines, while battling a mysterious enemy known as the Cadence in a 300-year war. You could use your heroes to fight on the battlefield, start new bloodlines, perform research, or even train new heroes from new bloodlines. And heroes are the only resource in this game. You're to construct buildings on various provinces, with each province giving specific bonuses, then defend them from the Cadence incursion. The annoying part is that the Cadence attack more than one area at a time, and you can only choose to defend one area at a time, even though you have enough members to defend multiple points. The interesting thing about this game is the bloodline system, where you can crossbreed multiple noble houses representing different character classes, creating a hybrid of 2 different noble houses. So you can crossbreed a stealth range hunter with a melee focused caberjack to create Shadowjack, who can stealthily sneak up on enemies and beat them to a pulp. Combined with the various armor and weapon variations, it allows you to really make your character unique. You also need to do this to continue your bloodline, as characters do die from natural causes in this game, if not in battle. Your heroes can level up and unlock new abilities that will change the way they play. However, you can also lose experience if you get hit, and losing too much experience could lose you some abilities, forcing you to play very carefully. Combat is pretty bland, and you mostly fight in open areas where everyone simply stands around exchanging attacks with each other. You can hide behind pillars, but this game lacks a cover mechanic, which you would think would be a staple in an XCOM-like game. Overall, this game is quite mediocre. It's like a very watered down, low budget version of XCOM, and you can give it a try, just don't expect too much from it. And number 7, we have Brütal Legend, an open world action adventure game with real-time strategy game elements mixed into it, full of chrome, leather jackets, and heavy metal music. Right off the bat, you will notice that you're playing a character that looks like and sounds like Jack Black, the Hollywood actor, because the character model is based on him and in fact is also voiced by him. The game follows the adventures of Eddie Riggs, the greatest roadie of all time, and you're looking to assemble an army to get rid of Lord Doviculus from heavy metal heaven. The story and writing are very sharp, and if you're a heavy metal fan, you'll find some in-jokes and cameos from the heavy metal music industry, like Ozzy Osbourne being a character in this game. Jack Black is awesome as Eddie, giving him all the personality of a badass roadie. The cartoon style of the game also fits into the quirky narrative. The main story missions play like an RTS game where you command your troops on a battleground that looks like a giant rock concert. Your fans are your resources, which you can spin to summon units. You can then dive into battles yourself and murder your enemies with your heavy metal guitar. You'll also have access to various abilities using your guitar. An example of this ability is the Face Melter, where you can literally melt faces of your enemies by playing a certain tune on your guitar. The gameplay also includes some shooting and racing sections, which may seem like they are trying to do too much, but each gameplay sections are simple enough that the package feels whole. Some complaints of this game are that the side quests can feel quite repetitive, and you can't jump, which is very strange for an action game. There are plenty of collectibles to unlock, including songs, new moves, and upgrades for your car, with a ton of secrets to uncover. If you like a fun action-adventure game that doesn't take itself too seriously, featuring some heavy metal music and icons, then I would give Brütal Legend a try. And that's all for part 1 of the Day of the Devs bundle. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in part 2 of this video.